I think most people expected that Tesla would be close or at least just barely make it to 5,000 Model 3s being manufactured in the week. And yesterday, the official word came from Elon Musk, sending out not only a tweet about how proud he was for his staff, but he sent an employee email. And in that email, if you look closely at the bottom there, that's a Model 3, and it says 5,000th on it. He also, in the email that he sent to the employees, he said, not only did we factory gate 5,000 Model 3s, but we also achieved the S and X production target for a combined 7,000 vehicle week. It was a rush, to say the least. There are reports that there was plenty of cheering and celebrating when they finally completed the 5,000th Model 3 early in the morning, Sunday morning. So basically, a few hours into July 1st. The deadline that the company had set, the target they had set, was we will build 5,000 Model 3s per week by the end of the second quarter. So they just made it. Now the question becomes, first of all, what happened overall with Q2 deliveries? And we should get those numbers either later today or tomorrow from Tesla. And then the big focus will be what happens now in terms of sustained production. You see that the stock is up more than 5% today. Guys, the analyst notes will all key in on the sustained production. Fantastic that you hit your target of 5,000 per week, or for 1 week, at least at the end of the second quarter. Now what happens as you do the third quarter into the fourth quarter?
Well, Phil, that was the question that I was going to ask. 5,000. By the way, 5,000, it seems like, if you, depending on how you're parsing some of what's going on Twitter, 5,000 in 7 days, not 5,000 in 5 days. Are they working a 7-day, 24-hour-a-day schedule right now?
They're working seven days, basically going 24/7. And that tent that we showed you there, that's a makeshift assembly line that was built very quickly, I'd say about 2 weeks ago. And that tent has been very controversial because veterans of the auto industry are looking at that and they're saying, wait a second, that is not the way to ramp up your production, by putting up a tent real quick and then cranking out cars. Having said that, they did hit their target of 5,000 Model 3s in 1 week at the end of the second quarter.
How much of that was manual production? How many workers they had to divert from other parts of the factory in order to go onto the Model 3 assembly line? That's all part of it. In that email, though, Phil, what I thought was interesting was that Elon said, I think we just became a real car company. Yeah. And then hours after he tweeted, that they had hit that 5,000 mark, I think he said 7,000 vehicles, right, in 7 days. The head of EMEA of Ford said 7,000 vehicles in 4 hours. sort of as a back talk to Elon Musk, like, hey, we do this all the time. It's no big deal, guy.
and I brought that up to a friend who is a big Tesla bull. You know what he said? Check out the market caps. So, I mean, you want to go back and forth? I mean, it's kind of childish at the end of the day to sit there and go back and forth on Twitter. But there's no doubt there will be people who look at Tesla's production push. And remember, guys, we've seen this before from Tesla, where they have a big push for, a burst of production for a very short period of time. And then the 3 to 4 to 5 weeks afterwards, they say, well, now, wait, we're not going to be able to keep that production at that scale. So that's why there's going to be so much emphasis on what the company says in terms of sustained production, and whether or not we hear anything. It's unlikely we hear anything when they announce their delivery numbers for the second quarter. More likely is that color comes at the end of July, early August, when they report the second quarter earnings. That's when they'll tell us, okay, this is what we
check out the market cap. If you're a Tesla bull, you could say that. It depends on your viewpoint, doesn't it? If someone says check out the market cap of Tesla, I know what they're saying, but it's also like on the other side, it's like check out the market cap of Tesla based on normal metrics. So I hear what you're saying.
You're right, Joe.
It's certainly commanding a really high multiple and a great market cap, but hindsight, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, Tesla's amazing, and they have great cars. But I'm just saying that kind of comment could come back to
Joe,
haunt you.
This announcement, it elicited just a reaction like you wouldn't believe on both sides. Now, and Melissa's familiar with this, with Fast Money at 5. I'm sure you hear from a lot of these people, but they came out of the woodwork yesterday. they immediately, the skeptics started focusing on what does factory gated mean? Why didn't you use the word production? This is them trying to move the goalpost, and they're not really producing, 5,000 in a week. On the other hand, you had the bull saying, here you go. Why don't you finally give Elon and Tesla their due?
Who's crazier right now, the Tesla-sarians or the skeptics? Because in the past, we've seen certain companies. Of course, Tesla's got a lot more going for it than some of these crazy story stocks of the past. But who do you think's more unhinged at this point? It's tough to say.
It really depends on the extreme portions. And I'm not trying to just play nice here, but I hear from both.
You're not talking about politics now. You're talking about Tesla.
No, the extremes in terms of Tesla bulls or Tesla bears.
Okay.
On the extreme, there is no rational discussion with them at all. Okay. And I'm sure it's like that with a lot of stocks, but in particular this one, when you talk with the extremists, they are completely, I don't care what you say. I'm not going to listen to anything other than my viewpoint.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.